Hi. Hi, I'm Eric Gates with Juno Bait and Tackle. I'm here with Tom Lewis from First Light Snook Jigs. He's going to talk a little bit about his jigs. We've got snook season coming up here in a couple days, and best way to catch a slot fish, which is a not very big window between 28 and 32 inches, is with the First Light jig.
Well, basically what you want to do is, on average, almost everybody uses the universal size 1.5 ounces, especially if you're not used to filling jigs. And then once you get used to working a jig, then you can accommodate certain situations with a 2 ounce, or even real shallow stuff, you can even go to a 1 ounce. Basically, you want to tie this not directly to your main line, you want a leader. I usually use anywhere from 60 to 80 pounds. You can use fluorocarbon, you can use monofilament, or you can even use wire. If I use wire, I use a number 7 wire. I use about an 18 to 20 inch strand of wire with a swivel. And as far as the leader goes, I usually try to make it about 30 inches if you're going to go with fluorocarbon or monofilament. That way, if you want to cut and retie after catching a fish, or change the color of a jig, say go from chartreuse to a pink, depending on the water conditions, you don't have to cut your whole leader off. You just take the jig off, retie it, and you still got plenty enough of leading to it.
Now, are you tying a loop knot to your jigs?
Loop knot preferred, and the reason being is, when you work the jig, if you jig the jig, you want the looseness on the eye, so you've got some flexibility so it isn't stiff, so you get the right action. What basically, rule of thumb is, if the water is real clean, I would go with white or pink. If the water is stained, then chartreuse. If it's real dirty, a lot of people, I have done really good with pink in dirty water. But for the most part, dirtier the water, chartreuse or a darker body. White and pink work really good in the real clean water.
In the Jupiter area, this a couple of my favorite colors here. In crystal clear water, watch snook come up and eat jig, this color jig, from about 10 feet away. And like Tom was saying, the chartreuse and the pink's also a great color.
Just so you know, this isn't just a Jupiter area jig when it's clean. This works in Fort Pierce, Palm Beach, Vero, Sebastian. This is a great color combination for clean water. Works anywhere. I don't care if you're on the West Coast. I ship jigs out to Tampa and Naples area, and I looked back this last week, and most of the jigs I'm shipping over there have been chartreuse, and a lot of orange head with a blue tail and chartreuse over there. Because the water hasn't been real clean over there. They've been catching a lot of slot to above slot fish on them. One captain said he's been getting anywhere between 6 and 10 a night in a 3-hour trip.
One of the other nice things about the jig is its versatility. If you're fishing at night in the shadow line, you can start out ripping it across the surface in the shadow line.
Correct.
Keep it high in the water column, and you can work all depths of the water column with one lure, which is really nice. You don't have to tie on a bunch of different things and try and figure out what the fish are going to eat. You can start high and work your way down through the water column to find out where those fish are.
Basically, if you're fishing a catwalk or a pier, you want to cast the jig up current at a 45-degree angle, bring it down the shadow line. You can start like what Eric said. Start on the surface. When you cast, as soon as it hits, start to reel. You can work the column. If you know it's about 10 to 12 feet, let it sink 4 or 5 counts, so you know you're down towards the bottom. Work it there, and you can also throw out and let it hit the bottom and bring it across on a slow retrieve, dragging across the sand. You get hits at any depth, depending on where the fish are feeding it. And that way, like he said, versatility is you can use one jig for the whole water column.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Got it.